So this in this video I'll explain about how our visit in Qatar National Museum tour. So basically the entry ticket for this Qatari National Museum is 50 Qatari um, Riyal for Qatari residents and GCC residents free, and child age 16 and under is free. So it's a quite a good place to visit, and it has a lot of things to view. So this is how you go. So basically we went with a taxi. So on the taxi you can see the path or the roads you take to go to the Qatari National Museum. So it's a well organized city, and it's a lot of greenery in Qatar, Doha, basically compared to other Middle Eastern cities. So you do see some greenery in Doha, which is quite surprising, and you have a lot of sightseeing. You see this curved or a sort of a cake-shaped building is a mosque, which is basically designed in a very new, peculiar architectural way. So this building um, has been so this building is a spiral mosque Islamic center, and it's a recent construction, and it's not very old, but it's a traditional Qatari mosque. It's not a traditional Qatari mosque, but it's a replica of the great mosque of Al Mutawakkil in Iraq. So they have made a similar one here. It's located in Souks area, where you can find a lot of. It's a close to the Cornish Street, and the spiral minaret looks quite unique for that. So this is just on the way to the National Museum, if you can have a look. So this Qatari National Museum architecture is inspired by something called desert rose, which is like a natural formation of sand and stones, which is somehow formed through the interaction of wind and sea spray over a lot of time. And this sort of structures you can find in Qatar, in Doha outskirts, and this has been the inspiration for the Qatari National Museum's architecture. So, architect of the National Museum of Qatar is Jean Nouvel. He is a French architect, and he, inspired by this desert rose, he designed the National Museum. So now we are almost there. So this is you have a roundabout before you enter this museum. So you see that building already there. It's a sort of like a lot of spaceships put together sort of building, and you can see the Qatari flag, national flag, as you enter this Qatari National Museum. So in Doha, typical taxi ride costs you around 20 dirhams for. It's a very small city, so it's not like Dubai where when you go from one place to other, it's quite takes a long time. But here, it's the traffic is quite not so hectic, and also it costs typically 20 dirham or 20 rial to go from point A to point B. Mostly people just ask 20 rial, and you can just hop around. Taxis are available everywhere, so it's not an issue. So you see, this is the entrance of this Qatari National Museum. You can hop out once you reach this place. And as I said, it's a lot of green around, which is quite non-typical for any Middle Eastern city, which I find quite interesting and better. Because if you go to Dubai or other places, mostly looks brownish, only sand and brown. But here you do see some green in Doha city. So that's the entrance. So this is the dropping point basically. But the way it is built is spectacular. So I don't know how they built it, but the structures is sharp shaped and sort of discs and half cut discs all put together. And they would have taken a lot of effort in building this. The architecture is really amazing to have a look how it's all put together and how it's built. So this is the entrance. So this is how you walk in. You see the pillars, how they are built, which is like slanting, and it's not the typical building shaped pillars which you have straight, but it's quite a feast for architects or people who are excited about architecture. This building is quite a good thing to watch. So once you buy the ticket, you will enter through this entrance. There will be an elevator which goes up, and then you go from there. So entering this, still the architecture amazes me how the structure is built. It's not a typical square or round or dome shaped or any other structure which you normally see. How the pillars are just stacked upon each other and how they made it is a feast for the eyes. So here you see how the structure is built again. So you see slanting and then this curved thing stacked upon. So it should be something like a steel structure, and then they would have put some concrete over it. But I don't know how they built it, but it's quite amazing to see. So once you enter, you'll see a lot of descriptions or writings on the wall. Make sure you read it. And this is a sort of a globe and a sort of a fish thing. But make sure you spend time to read all the notices. It gives a lot of wealth of information about Qatar and how it's built and the background. Here you see some of the sculptures and some of the stones excavated from in and around the area of Qatar, and they have descriptions of on each. If you have time, you can read. And there's also a lot of 3D animations which you just see now, which makes the presentation or the atmosphere great and provides a wealth of information. Um, so how they presented is very good, although and you have a sort of also different kinds of stones and also a model of a sort of an animal, or I didn't look into it carefully. So here you see some of the potteries or the items which was found in Qatar and also in traded between different countries. So they have shown the maps how Qatar traded with different areas and what they sold or bought, and the items found in different regions they put together in a nice fashion, which is good for historical and for people who are interested in this topics. So thanks for watching. I will put the next part in the next video. I didn't want to make the video too long. So if you do like, do share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.